Now, a new feature film, Adire, produced by Nigerian film production house Film One House, has been released in cinemas across the country. Set against the backdrop of a small conservative village in Oyo Town and directed by Adeoluwa Owu, Adire premiered in cinemas on the 3rd of November 2023. Now, the film is described by its creators as a community-driven film which tells the story of Adire, a former sex worker on the run. She moves to a small town and starts a fashion business, but her new life is threatened when her former pimp appears. Now, Adire is a captivating and community-driven film that delves into the heart of Nigerian culture, weaving together a compelling narrative that explores identity, tradition, and the enduring spirit of its people. The film is a celebration of African heritage and a testament to the rich storytelling tradition that Nollywood is known for. We are now being joined by producer and writer Kenneth, and a veteran film producer who is also a cast in the movie, Femi Branch. Good to have you both here in the studio.
It's good to see you. Welcome,
Yes.
welcome.
All right, let's get it started. Certainly, the movie holds great promise, and I know that from script to the big screen, it takes a lot. Walk us through the process. How has it been making a movie like this?
It's been, first of all, it's been a breath of fresh air, but it's also been really challenging. To be inspired by a story and to have it written is already a big process. But then bringing people together, a producer, producers, the director, cast, crew, and getting everyone to fall in love with this story the way I fell in love with it the moment it came to me is even the bigger blessing. We're just really excited that all of the work has paid off and we have a film that people really love.
All right, then that's amazing. And the first time I ever heard or saw this movie Adire, I mean, the first thing your mind goes to is our locally produced Adire fabrics here in Nigeria. And I thought, oh, that's very interesting, being able to just kind of embrace that particular element with so much vim. What was it about that representation? Because I have seen, even at the premiere, that representation of culture, of fashion. I know that in the story, Kenneth is someone who delves into fashion. But when we look at it beyond that, how was it important for you to be able to, bring those two things together? And then also for you, Mr. Branch, when you look at a script, I know that as an actor, there's something that gives you that spark that, okay, you know what, I'm going to be a part of this. I would like to know what that was for you. So we'll start with you and then come, of course, to Mr. Femi Branch.
I think the fabric spoke to me. So it wasn't some gimmick, it wasn't something that was an afterthought. It came with the original idea. I just moved to Lagos when the idea came and I felt like the city was speaking to me and the culture was also speaking to me. Adire goes through a rigorous process to make, same with the lead character in this story. But what's beautiful about it is that after all of that processes, it comes out really beautiful. This fabric has existed for years and years, and it's still relevant till today. It's still part of fashion. It's still a huge part of African fashion. So I think the fabric became a metaphor for the life of the lead character.
Perfect. So what about you, Mr. Femi?
Chief Femi Branch.
Oh, Chief
Thank you,
Femi.
to be exact.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah. To answer the question, it's so many things inspire you or motivate you to take on a story or to take on a project as an actor. Primarily, it's a story. Of course, you have to first read the script and decide whether this was something that speaks to you or something that you'd like to be involved in. Then, of course, you want to know, okay, who's behind it? Is it like a special project? Is this for a specific purpose, or is this just for commercial purposes? Yeah. In this case, I fell in love with the character because. I'm actually, unknown to many, I'm actually a pastor.
Is it now?
Ordained pastor. Let's not talk too much about that. I have played the role of priests in some movies, but nothing as extensive as this. I mean, I was playing, I played the role of Pastor Mide in this story. And that itself caught my attention. I was okay. Let me find out who this guy really is. And in reading the story, I found out, for me, it was the fact that the story portrays the role, the multi-layered role that churches play in such communities. Because we know that when you have a community, then you have a church and everything. The pastor in the church plays a very important role in the community. That's why you see them being involved in different aspects of life of the people and everything. They go beyond just performing spiritual roles to also having to be involved in the little things as marital squabbles and all of that, you know. And then, of course, that lays a premise, unfortunately, for some characters who take undue advantage of that power or position, like my wife, you know, from Lola Ofiebi, who just goes, and she's so extra, and she's so nosy, and she's so holier than that, right? As I'm even talking right now. You understand? So for me, it was the character. I fell in love with the character, and I wanted to know more about this character, and hopefully be able to portray the character to the best of my ability, which I hope I've done. The audience will decide. So I think that for me was the attraction.
Well, in describing Adire as a community-driven film, what role would you say the community did play in the making of this movie? Was there any involvement of their, the influence of that storytelling on the overall production process? And then when I come to you, Chief Femi, as a veteran film producer and cast member, how did your experience in the industry influence your approach to this role that you speak very, very highly of? We can start with you, of course.
So we shot in Ibadan, and it was important for us to also get people from the area to be a part of the film. I don't experience this often on film sets where day players or actors in like very small roles understand the script to the point that they know the characters in and out, and they contribute heavily into the production. But for Adire, it just felt like home also for them, because they could relate to the story, they could relate to the situations happening there, so they gave their all. We had so much help from the people on set within the environment that we shot in, and a lot of them made it into the film, which was like the biggest experience, or the biggest thing we could do, give back to where we shot the film.
All right then, thank you. And then over to you, Chief. We're talking about how exactly you used your influence, of course, your experience rather, in the industry to influence your role in Adire. Did you you also mentioned that you're a pastor as well. Did you have to explore personal insights or experiences to really push this character?
Yes, as an actor, when you take on a role, part of the instruments that you employ in being able to interpret that character, you rely largely on a database of experiences you've had in life. Okay, for instance, if I have to play a policeman, first thing I do is try to remember all of the policemen I've ever come across in my life, depending on the kind of policeman it is, whether it's I'm a policeman, right? or whether he holds certain ideals. So I just dig in. So most of the time you might pick from 2, 3, 4 characters and just, that's why I say that actors that, there's nothing really, it's not ideal, but there's nothing really bad in you being casted to play the same role several times, maybe because the people just think you're really good at it and they keep casting you for that role. The crime there is when you keep churning out the same thing every time. Because I tell people that when you put 10 pastors in one room, or you put 10 doctors in one hospital and tell them to practice their craft, they're going to do it different ways. They will speak differently. The way they administer the injection to the patients will be different. The way they even announce tragic results or whatever will be different. You understand? So you can't say because you're always playing a pastor, so it's the same thing. The audience gets bored at some point. So in my case, of course, it helped that I'd worked in ministry for years, several ministries. So I had a whole lot of material to work with. So I just had to put together a couple of people. There's some pastors that I've known and all that, and I put them together and just molded this man called Pastor Mide. Do you understand? And it was interesting working with, because the other cast members, it's good when you work with people that know what they're doing, or people that you've had some form of relationship with over the years in the industry and all of that. And we were so blessed that most of us, if not all of us that were the lead characters, we had worked together, we know each other. So that synergy, the chemistry and everything was really there. So everybody was helping everybody else. We were feeding off each other. And that really helped in bringing that character to the fore, you know. So that, and of course, like he mentioned, even the community that we shot in, it was exciting because you go to shoot in some places and they're so hostile. And you're so busy thinking, okay, you hope they won't cause you, hope they won't do that. It actually distracts you from your primary. But I mean, they were so happy, so elated, so welcoming. So and that really helped everybody at the end to deliver.
Okay. Okay, I've got questions for both of you. I'll start with you, Femi Branch. I know you are a veteran in the industry at this point in time. You can be called a veteran in the industry because you've seen things actually happen from the 2000s into the 2010s and into the 2020s right now. Film distribution has changed. We know Film One is actually spearheading this particular one.
Yes.
Talk to us. How this evolution, how has it changed the industry? Because right now we're seeing actors and actresses resorting to YouTube, thereby killing Alaba almost invariably. And we're seeing Netflix coming, we're seeing Amazon, and we're still having Filmhouse almost reviving the culture of cinema. Although Silverbird did a lot to actually revive that particular culture. Talk to us about this evolution and where are we at right now? And for you, I would like to get the inspiration behind this because the groundwork for any inspiration behind any movie that speaks to that dark shade of prostitution over the years has to be Domitilla, 1996. It's actually a ground setter. Was that an inspiration in setting your timeline, your story? Let's get to hear from both of you quickly, briefly.
All right, so first of all, I am very proud to say the industry has really come a long way. I remember us attending a film conference in Abuja then, which was convened by the later Amaka Igwe. You know, may she continue to rest in peace. And one of the workshops there was about thinking outside of the box. We're thinking of talking about marketing and everything. You know, because I mean, there was so much power in the hands of the marketers, and the marketers ruled the industry. And I'm sure you all remember a time that even the untouchables in the industry then were touched. You know, when the marketers decided, it's like they're charging too much, and they decided to just blacklist all of it. Nobody thought that was possible. That was the amount of power they had then. The marketers then will tell you that, okay, this is the person I want, this is the face I want, this is the design. You know, there was a running joke then in the industry that the marketer was saying, nah, for this fame, I want the father will be actually Wosu, the mother will be Kenneth Congo, so that will be this and this will be that. You understand? And you have, because he who pays the piper dictates the tune, and the producers were like, you know, shackled to them and to their whims. So all of us breathed a breath of fresh air when that monopoly was taken from them with the advent of, or rather the reemergence of cinema, thanks to Silverbird, because we really can't take it away from Silverbird, yes, because they were the pioneers, you know, of reviving cinema, live cinema. You know, so we've really come a long way from then, you know. Thank God for the Film Ones, the Genesis, even the Silverbirds and everything. But now we have more doors opening. You know, that we have platforms like Netflix now coming in, and even see, that's why the monopoly in any
sector is. I must apologize to your title and every other thing you stand for. Yeah. It's unfortunate we've actually run out of time. Oh, yeah. I was hoping to get that question here, my answer from the question I threw to you, but it's unfortunate we're out of time. I want to say thank you very much.
And congratulations on such an amazing movie.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.